welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Jo, and today I want to talk about why I don't recommend my clients put too much focus on intense cardio when they're trying to lose fat. And it often causes a lot of confusion because a lot of people are in the habit of exercising hard to earn calories to create that calorie deficit. So let's be clear, the only way you are going to lose fat is by being in a calorie deficit. And that means eating fewer calories than you're burning. When you're on a fat loss diet, it's about finding that sweet spot where you're getting all the nourishment that your body needs and you're still able to enjoy the foods you love in moderation while being in a deficit. And don't get me wrong, I love a good cardio session. Anyone that follows me on Instagram, Facebook will see that I do them regularly. But when it comes to fat loss, for a lot of people, more cardio or intense cardio is often not the right answer for that particular goal. Because when it comes to creating and maintaining a calorie deficit, it has a few downsides that can catch you out. And I want to explain why. So firstly, for a lot of people, hard cardio has a really big impact on your hunger levels. As an example, have you ever finished a HIIT class, a spin class, or a run and felt like you could eat a horse afterwards? And that's because cardio workouts, especially the intense ones, really rev up your appetite. Your body reacts to the higher calorie burn that you've done in the last hour or so, and it releases hormones to signal to you that you need to replace all of those calories that you've just burnt. And because your body's number one priority is survival, maintaining the status quo, your body sees fat, which is your energy reserve, as the key to its survival. And so it's hardwired to react in a way that makes you behave in a way that aligns with your body's survival instinct. So your body does not care that you're trying to lose fat to get to a healthy BMI. It sees all fat loss as dangerous, and it automatically makes you feel hungry so that you want to eat more when it senses that you're burning more calories at a fast rate. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're probably feeling hungry anyway. But if you're also exercising hard, then the hunger signals your body will be giving you will be even more intense. And then there's a whole thing about being so tired after a cardio session that you barely move for the rest of the day. Does that sound familiar? So you've gone out for a run, a cycle, maybe you've been to a class, you've given it all, your all for an hour, which is great. But then you get back, you have your shower, you fall onto the sofa, and the couch becomes your best friend for the next few hours or the rest of the day. And we end up burning fewer calories overall over the whole day because, well, you're just too zonked out to do much else for the rest of the day. And that 1 hour of hard workout that leaves you flat out on the couch, because of that, it's entirely possible you're going to burn less calories overall in total that day. So again, you think you've done the best for your goal, but actually it can be really bad if you're really tired, if fat loss is your goal. And those fitness trackers that a lot of us love, they really are fantastic gadgets. And don't get me wrong, I use them and I track everything. They're great tools, but it's really important to understand their limitations. They're really good guides, but they're not always spot on medically accurate. They're not medical grade appliances being used to take measurements in a controlled lab environment. And not everyone's body has the same composition. So there's all kinds of marginal errors going on there that build up. So it's entirely possible and very probable that they're overestimating your calorie burn. And that just leads you to think you've got a free pass to indulge a little bit more than you actually should. I know that from my bike rides, if I'm fueling myself out on the bike, I actually, to keep myself going on a 1-2 hour ride or longer, I actually need to be taking on board all of the calories pretty much that I'm burning. So coming back and having more than I would normally have, it's not great for fat loss. And the final reason that I really just wanted to cover off is when we start seeing exercise, especially the cardio stuff, as just a way to burn off food, it's a really slippery slope. Exercise should not be about punishing you for what you ate, for earning calories. Look, lots of us were forced to do PT, to do exercise at school. I remember those freezing cold days out on the hockey field, covered in mud, chilled to the bone. Or those of us that were forced to do racket sports when hand-eye coordination isn't our strength. So lots of us hated those cold, wet, outdoor sessions, or the sports that we weren't a natural at because we were forced to do them, felt we had to do them. They weren't enjoyable. And it really, if you think about that, it's no wonder that so many adults leave school and never go back to exercise because their experience was, for the majority, an altogether unpleasant one. When cardio is done solely for fat loss, that can turn it into something we perceive as unpleasant, a chore, something we have to do, are forced to do, a punishment for eating. And that just makes it no fun at all. So what's the alternative? How do you approach fat loss in a way that's actually sustainable and, dare I say it, enjoyable? Well, it's about mixing it up. So step away from focusing on intense cardio because there actually are far more effective ways of exercising if fat loss is your goal. Firstly, it's really important that you incorporate strength training in your routine. Muscle burns more calories at rest than fat. So by building a bit more muscle, you're boosting your metabolism. Now, my clients are mostly going to be women over 30, women in their 40s and 50s. And for that demographic, your body is, as it's aging, losing muscle mass month in, month out. It's just a natural part of the aging process. That's part of the reason why fat loss is harder as we age. Our metabolism is being impacted by muscle loss. And so taking some steps to retain and or build back some of the muscle that we've lost as we've aged, that's your best plan when it comes to exercising for fat loss. And staying active, burning more calories, doesn't mean you have to be in the gym 24/7. Have you ever heard of LISS? LISS. It stands for low intensity, steady state cardio. And it's your best friend if fat loss is your goal. So think walking, cycling at a gentle, leisurely pace, even a leisurely swim. It's the polar opposite of those high intensity workouts that leave you gasping for air, bright red in the face, super sweaty. But the magic of LISS is it's completely sustainable. Your body is built to work at that lower level of effort for a lot longer. It's really gentle on the body, on the joints, and it can be incredibly effective for fat loss. And that's because LISS can be done for longer periods without wearing you out or without making you feel like you're overtraining. You are still burning calories, but you are not ramping up your appetite in the same way that intense cardio does. Your body's far more comfortable and doesn't sense danger. The survival instinct doesn't kick in when you're doing less. Plus, it's something most of us can fit into our daily routines. Lots of it doesn't require exercise outfits. You don't need to get changed. You don't need to go to the gym. So a brisk walk during your lunch break, a bike ride with the family at the weekend, or even just getting off the bus a stop early and walking the rest of the way home. It's those small changes that actually can have a really big impact on your fat loss journey. And of course, because it's less taxing, because it's easier to incorporate into your daily routine, you are far more likely to stick with it, to do it. Consistency, being persistent, is key if you're trying to lose fat because it's not going to happen overnight. I know everybody wants the 2-3 pounds a week losses. That's really not realistic if you've got a reasonable amount of weight to lose. You need to be consistent. You need to find ways of moving that are enjoyable, low intensity activities that will keep you on track without the dreaded burnout, spending the rest of the day on the couch, the ravenous hunger. It's about making movement, about making exercise, about making lists a part of your life that you can actually look forward to, not dread. So that's it. Mix up your workouts with a blend of strength training, including those list activities. Walking is the obvious one. And yes, still do some cardio to get your heart rate up. That is important too for your heart health. And if you enjoy it, if there's a class that you go to that you absolutely love, go to it. Just don't do 5 a week. Don't make it the be all and end all and the total focus of your fat loss. So cardio has its place. It's not the be all and end all for fat loss. And if you enjoy it, absolutely do it. But be super aware of those factors I mentioned so that you can manage and be aware of those side effects so that you don't end up overeating or crashing out on the sofa all afternoon. Find a balanced approach that works for you, one that includes various types of exercise, includes some healthy eating, and above all, some patience. That's it for today. I hope you found the episode helpful. If you did, share it with a friend who might need to hear it. And remember, I'm always here to help. So if you've got any questions, reach out. Or if you want to share your stories, I'd love to hear from you too. Until next time, bye.